Alright folks, hello and welcome to another Modern stream. Today we're going to be trying out a list that continues to perform, by the way. Like Greenworld Reclaimer has been basically in the top 8 of at least one event basically every single week for the past month or something like that. The deck just continues to put up results in its different forms, by the way. Which I do want to clarify what I had been playing and what I have been enjoying a lot. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you're gonna see a bunch of streams. Is this kind of list, okay? This kind of list which instead of focusing on casting an early Primeval Titan or something like that, what it does, it focuses on the toolbox aspect enabled by Elite Skull. So we have access to Archon of Emeria in the main deck, we have access to Ravenep Excavator, Tireless Tracker, Knight of Autumn, all of this stuff in the main deck, meaning that we have access to basically a toolbox of creatures to get us out of some dicey situations even in game one. And then in the sideboard we have access to Oof, Gadoctic, Tracker, Mind Sensor, like even more toolboxes, even more silver bullets for the toolbox. Here we are playing something a little bit more similar to what we used to see in the red-green Titan decks. Number Squad, thank you for the follow. Kind of what we used to see in the red-green or like Titan field decks almost. So it's a much more streamlined. Try to use my slots to make sure that we get to ramp. So we have Steve, we have Springmoon Druid, we have a couple of Gracers as well. Honestly, like I wonder if these Gracers maybe should be Explorers. So plenty of options there. But the idea is to cast Primeval Titan and try to get there as quickly as possible. We even have access to Kazandu Mammoth, which is a card that I was interested in trying out. You know, this is basically a card that we can call whenever we need a line drop, and we're going to be using our mana in a different way. I don't know how relevant that's going to be. The 3/3 for 3, that I guess it turns into a 5/5, so it has the upside of being able to cloak an Ashok or something like that, but this seems like the most lackluster card in the deck. Like I guess it's worth trying, so I mean, I don't see why not, but it seems like it's gonna be the worst card in the deck. But you see by the fact that we're actually playing multiple copies of Castle Garenbray, we're playing Turn Timber. All of these cards basically scream cast Primeval Titan as soon as you can. So we're devoting a bunch of slots to making sure that our Titan comes down faster instead of devoting those slots to silver bullets. I have also seen lists that are playing lists like this, like for example like X-Whale and stuff, that have been playing Summoner's Pact as well as the 8 copies of Primetime, so we have access to like 9 or even 10 copies of Primeval Titan instead, which seems, honestly, it seems pretty sweet. That seems like something that is, it's possibly another avenue that this kind of deck can take. But for now, this is what we're going to be working with. This is the list that got 4th in the, I think, Saturday Modern Challenge. Here is the list from the mothership. And this is Arisax's list, which is it's a Neo brand player that finally saw the light, joined the good side, and decided to, instead of being a filthy Grixis brand player, decided to join the good side and, you know, join the primetime the primetime side of things, and was rewarded with a 4th place finish here. Spirit Walker with the tier 1 sub, thank you so much for the consistent support for now 11 months, sorry. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, this is the list that I'm copying. The only thing that I changed is the 1 forest versus 3 snow forest. I understand the idea for this. It's like once you find your first forest, then any other forest that you draw after that one is going to be a differently named card for field. And what I have found, and why I think that I like the 2-2 split better, is that very often forest is one of the cards that I sacrifice in the early game. So if I do that, I'm not playing any Ravenep Excavators in the 75 period. So because of that, once the forest is gone, like that's one land type that I'm not gonna be able to find. So it's a little bit shaky. But yeah, I mean, again, that's the only change that I did, and it's a matter of preference. Maybe it is correct to do this. I personally don't like it, but it's okay. Like it's a matter of choice. This was actually a pretty interesting. This was actually pretty interesting. Top 8 with Nissa of the Shadow Bugs Collected Company Elf deck even taking 3rd place, which is hilarious, and a bunch of humans in 1st, 5th, no, 5th is this deck, which by the way, I think it's really, really good. There's another humans in 6th place, another humans in 7th place, and another... Oh, this is Musasabi's list, which I also wanted to talk about. Sweet. Glad that I stumbled upon this. As you can see, Musasabi likes to build his decks in a similar way than I do. So we have a couple of less lands. Usually I go for 31, but he's going with 30. But he likes the toolboxy approach, so we have a bunch of toolbox cards. So we have Courser, we have Gargoth, Knight of the Reliquary, ramming up in the main deck, which by the way I do like a fair bit. Skyclave Operation, 2 copies, and he's been playing Yasharn, which is a card that I tested, and it seemed incredibly lackluster in my opinion, so I just cut it. But we see the Explorers here, which I think that it might be like my latest list after testing on... Was it Friday that I streamed this deck? I think it might have been Friday. Oh, no, it was Thursday. I was trying out Explorers and... I always forget the name of the card. Winds of Abandon in the sideboard. So this is the list that I was trying then. And Musasabi also really likes Bozo Resurgence, for example, which I think is just not a modern playable card. So that's like a very big difference between both of us in how we build our decks. And Grand Abolisher is actually an interesting one. I am not sure I like this. This is because Musasabi does not like to splash red. As you can see, this is like straight up green-white. So in order to tackle the blue decks, he's choosing to use other cards that are just straight up green and white. The problem is like these cards just don't tackle the Omnath problem. If you're not destroying their land, like this is just so much worse than destroying all of their islands. So it's just like a difference in how can I say it? Like it's just mostly a matter that he doesn't like the splash and he doesn't think it's worth it, but I do think it's worth it. That's basically like the only difference that we have in our deck building, really. And then like the one-offs that he chooses, like 2 Gargaroths, which honestly it has felt like the worst card in the deck when I was trying it, so I ended up cutting it. But yeah, definitely this is a different approach to the green-white thing, and that's why I think that this deck still has not found its final form. Neither this list nor the other lists, I don't think either one of them has... I don't think that there's a stock list, basically. And I think that is something that is still yet to come. It's not like, you know, whenever we had like the red-green Titan Shift list that were like we had a stock list and then you changed like a card or two to make like adaptations to the meta, but like you knew that you were playing the 4 Search for Tomorrows, you knew that you were playing the 4 Steves, etc, etc. So this deck is very, very far from that. So I think it's really cool that we still have a lot of room for evolution and for exploration. So yeah. What we're trying out today, as I was saying, is going to be the Blue Splash for Meddling Mage. Now, disclaimer. I don't think it's going to be good. Why is this? As you can see, our deck has a lot of mana requirements, like green-white for Eldamber Skull, double white for Apparition, double green for Primetime Evo, triple green for Turn Timber, of course. And you do want to have access to a bunch of resources. So Meddling Mage is a card that you want to be playing on turn 2 in the matchups where you want it. So in order to play Meddling Mage on turn 2, you need to find a white source and you need to find one of your 7 blue sources. That's it. That's all the blue sources that you have are 7. That's it. That's all we got. So you actually need to get pretty lucky. You cannot draw this card. You cannot draw any of your basic forests, which is like half of our mana base even. You can't draw this, you can't draw this. Like, there's very many cards that you simply cannot draw. Or otherwise you're just not gonna be able to cast this on turn 2. And against the matchups where you want this card, like the reason that you're playing this card is that you want to cast it exactly on turn 2 or 3 at the latest, but 3 might just be too late. So I don't think it's gonna work. I think that this is just not worth it's just not worth doing this. It's very different to a splash like Boil. Boil is a card that you actively are expecting to cast on turns 5 or more. So that is a much freer splash because not only do you have a lot more time to get there, but you also have a bunch of free, quote-unquote, free red sources already. So your red splash is a lot easier to achieve, and it's a card that you have a lot more time before you actually want to cast it. So the Boil splash makes a lot more sense. The blue splash seems just not worth it in my opinion. We're gonna see how it actually plays out. I expect that, you know, we're gonna need to get very lucky to be able to cast this card on turn 2 or even turn 3. And just by turn 4, it's just too late, right? Like by turn 4, it's just too late. You just, if you're casting Meddling Mage against Oops All spells on turn 4, you're dead by that point. You're not gonna get to turn 4. So I don't know. Well, I think that there's a better way to do this. And instead of playing Meddling Mages, we could be just playing something like Grafdigger's Cage or Pithing Needle. Probably not Relic of Progenitors, but like Soul Guide Lantern, for example, stuff like that. So I think that this is not the way to go, but again, I wanted to give it a shot because I have never actually played any games with the deck. So the rest of the sideboard is pretty much just the usual suspects, right? Like Knight of Autumn, Gaddock Teague, 3 trackers for the mid-range / Omnath matchups and stuff, 4 Purges, best sideboard card in the business for Titan decks, Mind Sensor, and Eidolon. So we're gonna see how that goes. Alright, after that introduction. To be fair, this deck has a pretty concrete shell or Reclaimer deck's use. Yeah, I mean, but you have 4 Reclaimers, 4 Flagstones, right? And then some number of planes. Like, that's all you have. 4 Titans is stock, but it's not like necessary nor guaranteed. 4 Calls is also stock. I guess 4 Dryads is like it's unavoidable basically. Voice and 2 is a big middle finger to the control. I think it's not good. This is obviously a bit unorthodox. Boys look solid in his bod, but I think Tracker is just better. I just don't think it's a good card. Spirit Monger. Man, I love Spirit Monger. Huh. This is a very interesting hand. I mean, I'm definitely keeping it, but am I supposed to Gracer on one? Ajani Vengeant. Okay, I think I'm gonna Gracer on one. Reason for that is if my opponent's deck might be playing Mana Tide, so we're playing against the Land Destruction deck. How does it take on leg like this beat combo and Storm or Ad Nauseam with your sideboard cards? Wait, they just don't have a second land. So Mind Sensor, Eidolon. Okay. I guess this is happening. No. Maybe they want to Mana Tide this. They don't. Maybe they want to Mana Tide this. They don't. Alright, sweet. Wolf and Teague are good against Awesome. Yeah, 100%. I am so very confused by what's going on right now. Oh, I feel better. Back on Reclaimer? Yes. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm feeling better, fortunately. I woke up with a migraine yesterday, which sucked. Bonnie has conceded from the game. They don't want to play the game anymore. Alright, so opponent's deck is just... I don't think it's very good. Does this stop Boom Bust? It doesn't, right? This doesn't stop my opponent from casting Boom Bust. They have like Chandra and Ajani Vengeance and stuff. Probably like that better than Paths. Apparition seems fine. This seems fine. Probably Gracer is gonna suck. And Bog is gonna suck. Not sure about Night of Autumn. Definitely don't want Meddling Mage. I don't want to need to have my blue source fetched. Night of Autumn is interesting, God of Dig is interesting. These are the only two cards that I might want. I guess I need more information. What button do you hold down to quickly tap your lands like that? I've never known what that shortcut is the... I have it set up as the M key, because it was the M key like when I started playing Moto. And I think nowadays the default is W. The just Sky Moon deck away. I know. I don't even know what they were doing over there. Rickety is not following. Thank you for that, Rickety. I think that they are not playing blue though. I think that that's just the color that they tapped whenever they tapped the thingy. I think they're just playing red-white. I think I played this very deck in regionals a few years ago. No, Scott, I think that whenever... I think I remember what you're talking about, but it wasn't this deck. It was just... Logan Drax, thank you for the follow. I think it might have been just Amulet. It was a while ago. It was like 4 years ago or something. Maybe 3. I'm just not going to bring in Teague. Maybe it's wrong and I should be. Yeah. Yep. Keep. You know what? I think I'm actually tempted to play this Mammoth here. Oh man, that actually complicates things. Because now I'm really incentivized to. Yeah, now we have to play Reclaimer on 1. And I'm not gonna play the fetch because we have Tracker. Maybe I get punished by Suppression Field. That would suck, actually. Helix. Yeah, let's play around Suppression Field. Stone Rain. Gideon of the Trials. So I guess maybe we're literally playing her against like actual Sun and Moon. The actual deck from literal years ago. Discuss this guy, because if it dies, we don't care. Then we can play Tracker plus land in the same turn. Make sure we get guaranteed value. We can even play Flagstones. We get double the value. With this deck not having a stock list, are there cards to stay away from that look good to have in the deck but actually slow the deck down? That's a good question. I don't think so. Not off the top of my head. And not in my testing. Is there something I would like to... I think it's probably overrated from this list. That's a good question. Off the top of my head, I think Spring Bloom is very good. Like the opposite, basically, of what you're saying. I think I've seen lists without Spring Bloom, and I think that's a mistake. I think that Spring Bloom is extremely, extremely good. So I always want to have it in my lists. Yeah, Trucker is medium. Trucker is not like insane or anything. It's just okay. You gotta kill here, yeah. Bone Crusher. Blood Moon, no. Bone Crusher played. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Play my tracker. Play my thingy. Pass my turn. So I think my opponent is just not playing land destruction, they're just playing moon and stuff. Which very likely means that I'm gonna win this game. Like, they plussed here, so I'm just gonna trade with the Bone Crusher. If they play a moon, I purge it, and then I slam a Titan and I win. What you got, OP? Actually, a Janny Vengeance would be pretty brutal. Would be effectively a time walk. Really struggling with those rugged prairies over there. Streamloop Flames the same role as Susa does in Amulet. As far as I understand, it's rammed an occasional combo enabler when you don't have Titan yet. Yeah, and it's like your fastest way to Titan. The combo with Flagstones, it really feels filthy whenever you put it together. It does feel absolutely filthy. So we're just gonna Valakut plus Field here, forcing my opponent to Wrath. And the Valakut means that the Dryad is a threat. Yeah, that's a Wrath. Yeah, if they have Bolt, I guess they wouldn't have Bolt, they would have a Lightning Helix. So if they have Helix here, we're gonna be dead, but 1, 2, 3. Play this. Play this. 1 here. 1 there. Always yes, always yes, always healed. 1, 2. Crack this, see what's up. Crack this, see what's up. Castle. Save targets. Go there. So Bar needs to find the land exactly this turn or they're gonna die. They find a Helix, sorry. Blood Moon doesn't do it, obviously. I guess a Wrath would slow me down here. See some Pyro. Season Pyro was a very good draw there. Gives them multiple looks. We might be getting slow rolled here. If that were the case, that would suck, but okay. Yeah, I was not gonna fetch. There's no need for us, but yeah, we were getting slow rolled, as I said. Oh no, we're not. Okay, sweet. I don't know, something tell me that deck is not viable. Something tells me that deck might not have aged very, very well. That was a weird match. It kind of was, right? It is just kind of a weird deck, honestly. But yeah, that's the beauty about Modern, right? That's the beauty about Modern. You can kind of play whatever you want, and maybe you do some winning, because maybe you do have some good matchups. But yeah, I mean, with 4 purges in the sideboard, like, that matchup has to be a breeze for us. Throwback to Bant, Grixis, Sun, and Moon Modern. Those decks were sweet when they had a positive win rate. Yeah. Yeah, that's not the case anymore. That is not the case anymore. Andreas Rosin, thank you for the meme host. Yeah. Yeah, you just skip this kind of hands. Turn 1 Reclaimer, if they kill it, turn 2 Reclaimer as well, play another land. We have Spring Bloom. Yeah, this is good. I love that this card comes into play on turn 1 and it just puts so much pressure on your opponent. It really puts a lot of pressure. Like, now, you didn't answer it, opponent. What are you gonna do now? Yikes. This is fine. Would love to draw a land. Would certainly love to draw a land here. I'm gonna get Flagstones, of course. Land? Easy. It's not a good land, though. Definitely not what I would love to see. We do have a couple of options here, however. Because we can go get... We can either go get another Flagstones, or we can go get... Celestia Sanctuary, play the second Reclaimer, but... We did hit a land drop, so I think we're just gonna chill here. We're just gonna pass. Yeah, Spring Love is insane with stones. I agree with that. So I'm gonna take the Thalia attack here. This is fine. I could block and sack this to get a Flagstones. We can make Reclaimer a 3/4. I don't think it's that worth it. I think just developing our mana is gonna be more important. Let's get us Snow-Covered Plains. Get another Flagstones. That's interesting. My opponent has a Queller over there, though. So let's start here. Opponent's gonna go quelling some spells. My spell has been quelled. And now we can play Spring Bloom, sacking Flagstones. Claimer becomes a 3/4. We can also play Dryad. The thing is, I kind of want to play Spring Bloom because I don't want to kill the Thalia. The Thalia is hurting my opponent a lot more than it's hurting me because I have everything already rolled up. So I think... The problem is if I play Dryad... Well, if I play Dryad, I don't have a guaranteed Titan next turn. So I think it's going to just be Spring Bloom. Elf? It's called Synergy, chat. That's called Synergy. So we sack here, get this and get this. So yes, we get a Hallowed Fountain. And we get our trigger. This card is really sweet. This card is really, really good. With stones, it's not, it feels like that doesn't have enough for the card to be in the deck. It just feels cute from my experience. I strongly, strongly disagree, Safer. I think that this card is consistently impressive for me. Like, very, very impressive. I feel like this card is crazy good. Do we want to double block there? We can Dryad, we can Valakut the Drog Skull. Dryad, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So we can Pact for Steve. Yeah, so I think I actually like to do this. So what this does, this enables me to... This kills the Thalia, which means that now, even if I don't draw a land, I did draw the best possible land because I'm a genius, but even if we had the worst case scenario there, we were still fine. So, boom, boom, sack here. Yes. Oh no, I wasn't. I didn't have it. Yeah, I guess I did miscount. Never mind. So Valakut. So I guess I did punt here because the extra Valakut trade would have been more important than this. So this was just a mistake on my part. Oh no! We can go get the mammoth! It happened, chat! It happened! It happened, chat! Wow! Alright, mammoth, insane. Mammoth confirmed best card in the deck. Confirmed best card in the deck. Oh man! Fire! Yep, that was a real sexy line that we found right there. That was a real sexy line. Holy crap, do I need to buy my copies of Mammoth now? Damn it. I have to buy Mammoths now. Well, we're clearly not well prepared for the for the Spirits matchup. We're not well prepared for the Spirit matchups. Well, if you want to buy your copies of Mammoth, don't forget to use the TCG Player affiliate link and you can support the stream for free at no extra cost to you whatsoever. So, free value. Free value. That was really cool. That was really, really cool. Okay, so what are we doing here? Galactic stops Collected Company. Worth it, I guess? Like, it's more of a matter that I want to cut my Bojuki Bog than I want to bring anything else, because like all of my cards in the sideboard kind of sucks. They kind of suck, so it's either going to be this guy or this gal. I don't like Mind Sensor. No, I mean, it's not a bottom more for the life gain than anything else. Usually, like, Spirits is... When they don't have multiple lords, like, they cannot clock you very easily, so for life can be the difference between winning and losing, which can buy you the the one extra turn that you need to land the Titan. I think I'm gonna go for Teague, though. Collected Company is, like, one of their best cards. Like, it only stops our Symbiosis, which is probably not one of our best cards. Interesting. Actually, Gracer is kind of nuts against them. I just wish I had access to more lands. I'm gonna keep this, though. Yeah, I think I'm keeping this. This is a fine keep. Opponent moves to 5. Mm, that's actually pretty great. So we just gotta draw cards. Draw lands, sorry. I will block. Yes, I will block. As I was saying, I will block. Reach, baby, reach. I Am I supposed to main phase blow this up? To not get blown out by Spell Queller? I actually think so. When my opponent has one card in hand, they can have Path. Yep. So otherwise, if they untap and I let them Queller, like if the last card is a Spell Queller, like I just put myself in a tough spot for no real reason, so I'll block, thank you. Wish this deck had a reason to be in black. In Death at Realm would be so nice. Yeah, I mean, you can... That's... I guess that's an approach that you could take. Sweet. We needed lands. That's awesome. You could do that if you wanted to. You can splash for Thoughtseize. Hello, boy. Hello, boy. Hello, boy. Just get a planes. Sweet, so they tapped out. So we're just gonna get double field because it's the fastest clock. Opponent just doesn't want to play anymore. Understandable. All right. Mammoth 2. No Mammoth 0. So yeah, as I was saying, like, triumphs are an option. Triumphs are an option. But also not splashing is an option, which I probably think it's going to be the better option. Again, turn 1 Reclaimer. Great start. Yeah. I am hoping to not have to path anything on turn 1, so that's why I didn't lead on Temple Garden. Like, of course, if my Reclaimer gets answered, I can hold a path on turn 1 by doing this, and I can get one of the tap lands out of my hand. Seems unnecessary. Splash for Omnath off 2 triumphs. Exactly. Easy life. Alright, time to get the engine going. Ooh. Is my opponent doing some Whirza Goblin Engineer nonsense over there? Okay. That's blue mana. That's not Galvanic Blast mana, which is good for us. Is that Levi? It's the only reasonable explanation. This has to be Levi. Give me that Flaxlands, baby. Let's get that engine going. Yeah, I think I'd rather suck a land. Next turn we can suck a land and also play Steve. So we have turn 4 Titan, turn 5 Titan, sorry. Thopter Foundry. Okay. Don't Gal Blast me, bro. Don't Gale Blast me, bro. Sweet. They didn't Gale Blast me. I think I would like to Steve plus Primetime here. Which means if I want to hold that path, which I probably have to not die to an Whirza, I need to main phase activate here. Just get a castle. Okay. Trigger on the stag, we're gonna path. Place around Cryptic, but we can't play around the other counterspell. Jeff got 13 with the tier 1 sub. Now for 12 months. 1 full year. Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Thank you so much, Jeff Gat. Thanks for the great content. You're very, very welcome, my friend. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. So we really, really, really want to find 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Titan mana. We have 1 to path. No need to Steve, I don't think. But actually, like, what I would have loved to draw there would have been... would have loved to have drawn a... Skyclave Apparition. Yeah, but I'm thinking that if my opponent has Whirza, we just lose, right? So because we cannot beat Infinite Life. Unless they can instant speed Whirza, this is fine. So I guess we're gonna get Blast Zone here so we can blow it up on 2. Though that's gonna be pretty slow. Still just a play though. Okay, so can we lethal here? We can't lethal, right? So my opponent's gonna gain 5 life up to 26. So I guess I'd rather, since I cannot set up lethal, I'd rather hold up Reclaimer activation. Ghost Quarter? Let's do Whirza Heath. opponent will punt. Okay. So this means they can't sack the Witching Well, otherwise they kill their own construct. Let's play Radiant Fountain. And they have one turn to find exactly Whirza. So what matchup made you want to splash from Meddling Mage? It's a list that I copied, but the reason for it is for the combo matchups. Oopso spells, stuff like that. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good at all. Have I ever considered having TTS? What is TTS? Alright, they didn't find the Whirza, so we win. Awesome. This seems worth it, right? Just play this and name Whirza. What else? Gracer seems bad. Cut that. This would stop where? Text to speech. I don't even know what that is. No idea what that means. It's a very efficient way for chat to troll a streamer. Oh. Yeah, I probably won't do that. Sounds like a very smart move on me to not have that if you think about it. Can cut a fountain. We probably need the paths. Let's cut one because we are bringing in Meddling Mages. I don't think Meddling Mage is good 5 seconds later, so I think we're being... I mean, the fact that I'm bringing it in, like, I still don't think it's good, right? But I don't think it's good. Like, it's not that I don't think that this is not a good card, right? It's not that I don't think that this is a bad card, that I don't think that this is a good card. It's more of a matter of I don't think that the cost of playing this card and how we need to sequence our lands and how lucky we need to get with the very limited amount of blue sources that we have. This is a card that you want. I explained this at the beginning of the stream, but this is a card that you want to basically play on turn 2 in the matchups where you want it, right? But since I have it in my deck, I'm gonna bring it in, of course, in the matchups where there's one key card that just completely destroys me, like Whirza in this case. Just got another path. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Probably ship this. Seems better, but still bad. Okay, hand's great now. Just need to draw any land. Sure. Can answer that. Sweet, 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 sweet. I guess if they do have the combo rolled up, we're gonna be in trouble, but seems like they don't? Question mark? Sack this, Plains, Forest, and Temple Garden. Actually, I should have gotten a the blue source for Meddling Mage. I forgot that I had Meddling Mage in my deck. Sweet. Good job, me being an idiot. That's pretty good. Do I need to? They could have the counter spell, so I think that we have to play around it. Took this deck and your Lands deck and mashed them together, and it's been a ton of fun so far, just trying to decide the last couple of cards. Okay. Nice, nice. So this is actually not bad at all. So now we get to exile the Sword of the Meek. I guess we don't. Never mind. We'll probably have to play Eidolon here, huh? Teak stops Weir, so we might be good for game 3. Is it though? Like, is Weir that problematic? I mean, it was obviously good there, right? But like, is it better than the other cards that we're already playing? And they still need Whirza to kill me. Like this, they can make all the tokens they want. I don't care. They still need Whirza to win. If they do have the Whirza, they do actually just win. But... oh. If I play this, we get to play around the counter spell. Seems worth. Let's do Blast Zone Field, because we can get that going into turns. Tokens still don't matter. Can't cast this because of my own Eidolon. Again, it's Whirza or bust. My opponent needs to find the Whirza, but eventually I'm just gonna win if they don't. So I'm not that worried. Unless I see my opponent tap 4 mana for Whirza. Got me. Damnation. Okay. They've been playing around this apparition very nicely. I think we just pass here. We crack Blast Zone next turn. They get to create a bunch of zombies, but it also forces them to Inventor's Fair, I guess. Not getting the Hallowed Fountain hopefully doesn't punish us, but huh. Sweet, so now they tapped out, so we just get to exile the Sword of the Meek. I name Blast Zone probably. White, white, 1. Play this. That one. Just finish my math class and I figure out that he's doing more math than my teacher. We're not doing that much math, but we're doing some math here, that's for sure. It's interesting to me that they brought in Damnation. It's definitely very interesting that they brought in Damnation. Why are we playing blue? It's Meddling Mage that good now? That's your explanation right there. So we just serve, right, with these and these. Force my opponent to sack some stuff. We just have a Whir. Annoying. That comment really paying off on testing days? Yeah, hell yeah. Wow, they're just playing into another apparition? Okay. Sucks. I'm gonna go face here, because if I draw a bounce land and my opponent doesn't top deck Whirza, we might be close to lethal. So they gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I guess they would go down to 1. If Mammoth won this game, Mammoth has been solid. Alright, so there's Whirza. Yep. Pipe Needle ended up being super good. We would have found the Mammoth. Alright, Teague, come in here. And we're gonna cut... What do we cut? Ghost Quarter? Where's Karn to animate a needle when you need him? I know, right? Do you remember a conversation we had here about a week ago about how awful it is to play infinite combo in Moto? I'm trying to solve that problem by coding a Python program that automates the combo. Wow, really? That's insane, GeForce. Yeah, this is my problem with this card, right? That we're extremely, like, we had it in our opener and we're extremely far away from casting it. Same, exactly the same situation. So we're gonna keep this one, bottom that one. Sick draw is sick. Thoughtseize. Probably gonna get Illidan's Call here. No land. Okay. Yikes. That was a pretty timely draw there. No second land is pretty rough for OP. Okay, Talo Fountain, Jewel Magine, thank you for the follow. And we're definitely getting another Flagstones. Gotta get a ramp on, you know? That's a terrible, terrible, terrible draw. Like, such a bad draw. Such an awful, awful draw. It's the field. It's beatdown time, baby. It is beatdown time. Let's go. Is Mammoth the best card in the deck? I think Mammoth might be the best card in the deck. You see, I cast the Mammoth, opponent immediately concedes. Easy Mammoth. Easy Mammoth. Easy Mammoth. Holy crap. We need a sound. That's actually a great idea. Yes! Yes! This one's going right into the... How do I add to my soundboard? Yes! Yes, exactly. Casted Mammoth comes up more than played it like an ant. No, actually I played it like a land 3 times now, and I just cast it the 1 time. Actually, I cast it 2 times too. But I called for a Mammoth just to play it as a land to trigger Valakut and kill my opponent's Spell Queller while they could not protect it. It was insane. Holy crap. That is so sick. I think we found the new pet card of the stream. I think we found the new pet card, chat. If you hear what the hype was about? Oh yeah. That's when we realized the truth about the Mammoth. The brokenness about the Mammoth. Friendship ended with both. Yep. This is officially a Mammoth stream now. No longer. So this is a Jegantha deck, so it's probably Saheeli deck. Seems okay against a Saheeli deck. Did they win a Mammoth Crucible is the AI peak? This could also be mono red, and if this is mono red, this hand is particularly excellent. Opponent says that they're sub to the channel. Okay, so they're not on. This has to be the. Yeah, this is the Saheeli deck. So because this is a Saheeli deck, I'm gonna lead on Reclaimer. This deck doesn't play Bolt, so if they want to kill my Reclaimer, it has to be with the path. It can't be Heliod because of Walking Ballista, so Walking Ballista doesn't allow this deck to be. For the Reclaiming Kingdom in the middle today, we have all the cards for all the variants. Let's go. Ponza seems to be on the on the down tick. Yeah, also, well, my opponent just you chose white here, right? Bant. So let's play a Reclaimer, let's play Gracer. Play this, say go. That was pretty good though. Turn 2 to Fairy, pretty strong right here. We're gonna get to activate Reclaimer and Call, which is quite solid. We have to main phase the Call, which is a little bit awkward, but that's fine. Yeah, I guess it could be Neve. Considering the popularity of the Saheeli deck, I'm assuming that it's a Saheeli deck, but it could be Neve, you're right. Here's Omnath. So we might be in a lot of trouble next turn. Do I just need to bath this stupid idiot? I think I need to bath this stupid idiot. Instead of calling. Which is pretty bad for me, honestly. Why play even a bunch of bad cards when you can just play twin? Yeah, exactly. This isn't vintage? No, it's not. Who are you, John? Oath of Anissa. Things not looking good here. Rain and ticks. I don't like our situation right now. They found Saheeli. Shit. So I guess Titaning is not an out, huh? So sack here. What are we even getting? Is there anything that we can get? Not really. We just don't have enough lands. Just don't have enough lands. Mammoth for flex. So it's Purges, Meddling Mages. Teak seems pretty bad. Eidolon seems bad, but I guess okay. Bog is important because of Udo. Gracers can go, they're not going to be pressuring our life total. Yep, I think Eidolon is okay, so I'm going to be playing some Eidolons. I don't think we want Teague. It stops Jace, if they play Jace, which maybe they do. Doesn't seem good enough. Rather have Mages. Purge is a Saheeli and Omnath. Yeah, that's why I brought in 2 copies, but Path is a little bit more flexible. It also hits Uro, it hits Omnath. Gives them a land, which is a big deal, but maybe 3 and 3. I definitely want removal, but we also have Meddling Mage, so this is good, this is good. I don't think I want to cut prime time in this matchup. Maybe Fountain? Seems bad though, like Fountain Ace interest is sometimes important against Omnath. Because it just clocks you so quickly when it gets going. Yeah, let's ship this. Oh my god, his hands are awful. Really bad hands. Super, super bad hands. Feels bad, man. I like silly decks. Depends on how silly, I guess. By the way, we cannot cast Meddling Mage. Just so you know how bad Meddling Mage is in this deck. We cannot cast Meddling Mage with the current mana situation. And we bought on two other lands that would not have allowed us to cast Meddling Mage either. So I really mean it. When I say that Meddling Mage is not good in this deck, I really, really mean it. Probably have to Reclaimer here. Easy. Is it a meme deck? If Yellow Hat can go 5-0 with it? Probably, yeah. What is the opponent playing? They're playing the Saheeli deck. Would have loved. Absolutely loved. I guess we have to get a forest here. So if we top deck a Titan, we can cast it. Would have loved for my Reclaimer to have survived there. Feels bad. According to me, Meddling Mage busted. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I said, right? Saheeli. This card is good. Unlike Meddling Mage, this card is actually pretty good. Yeah, man, if that Reclaimer had survived, I would have had a pretty solid turn there. It's a Omnath. With a fetch, so we probably cannot beat that. Probably cannot beat that. Felidor Guardian. Blink Omnath, easy. Titan? I guess out of all the bad draws, it wasn't the absolute worst. We can't even pass the Omnath here, because if my opponent has this healer, we just lose, so we just have to wait while my opponent completely destroys us. This deck's very good, chat. If you like winning, this is probably a good deck to be playing. Found Udo, sure. So we're about to get domed by Omnath. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can still die to a Saheeli, so we still cannot lower the guard. We just have to take this. Ugh. Are we dead yet? Are we dead yet? I guess that we can find Dryad? It's not even that good. Another Reclaimer. No attacks is interesting. Why would they do that? We do have to bog here. So I guess a Dryad is probably the only way that we can manage to stabilize here. That's the list. Vile Herder. Love the name already. That is the Nassif special. I'm kind of okay with that. This is what we got. Right off the top or bust. Let's go. And we also still died to a second Saheeli, obviously. No, we just gave my opponent the mana they needed to cast whatever they needed. So, see our cards in hands. We're just gonna have 6. Actually, had some pretty sweet gameplay. I built it in paper to try it out. Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, sir. Looking forward to it. Can do it a couple of maybe this Thursday or next Thursday. Okay, that guy we can probably beat. So now we died to Fellow the Guardian or Saheeli, but they didn't have it. I mean, let's go, baby. We're gonna be able to trigger this and make it pretty big, so there's that. So if we don't die, if we somehow do not die, which seems unlikely, Mammoth is gonna be forcing some Champerinos. Eat block and 8 attack. Don't kill me, please 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 don't kill me. Down to 9 and I sighted out my Radiant Fountain. Feeling pretty silly right about now. Also my opponent's at 31, just casually. Just randomly chilling over there at 31. Yes! 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 Let's go, baby. That's exactly what I mean. Be afraid. Be afraid of the mammoth. Fear the mammoth, opponent. Fear the mammoth. It respect indeed. Fear the mammoth, opponent. Fear the mammoth. Let's go forest. Why are we doing this now? Because my opponent might want to attack, but maybe they didn't think that the Reclaimer were going to go with field? I don't know. Oh, why are we doing this? Yes, because we want field triggers, obviously. We're just gonna chump attack with everything. Send this, and this. Add the Saheeli, obviously. We need to clear this. Saheeli. And I guess I hold on to the Reclaimers. This is bad against Path, but it's fine. We're still dying to Saheeli off the top, though, obviously. And if we had found Dryad, this game would have been a lot easier. Stupid and sexy Dryad. Where are you? One is just spewing value. I guess you don't care as much about spewing value when like everything is just value. So so stupid. You're not stupid. Jazz is stupid. Man, my wife and I watched that Office episode yesterday. I had to remember. I had to completely forgotten about that quote. That was so sick. I mean, just play the right notes. It's so good. All right. No, not that one. This one. So sack this, get another field, and we're gonna sack Flagstones. Alright, we got some Sumbos. Dryad. Damn it, man. So if I attack with everything, my opponent takes 8 damage, and then they gain 4. That doesn't seem very good. Doesn't seem very good. This guy can only find 1 land too. We have 1 snow-covered forest and 1 snow-covered plains, but the snow-covered plains is also our only target for Flagstone, so we technically have only 1 basic for this to get. We probably have to jam, right? Just to deal them damage. So all of these attack. Just gonna get it. Those are some kind of greedy attacks, honestly, because now if this card were a Dryad, we could really blow my opponent out. Let's sack Castle, because we already have another Castle left in the deck. So let's sack Castle. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it doesn't matter activating Castle. So sack Castle, Vesuva here. 1, 2, sack this. Yes. Last land. Sumbos. Get Valakut. No, we get a Sanctuary here. Bound Sanctuary. 1, 2, 3. Play Spring Bloom. Sack this. Get Forest. And play this again. Maybe this is lethal next turn? Impossible to know. Impossible to know whether this is going to be lethal next turn. Absolutely no way whatsoever of knowing. Do they just have it? Sweating. We're sweating balls here. Jeez. Start charging up Blast Zone. It's not gonna be fast enough. Ren. That gets back the Grove. Shit. Oh, I should have bogged in no, I actually cannot bog in response because of because that means that I don't have 7 different lands and we need to make Sombos. Don't find it. How am I today? I'm doing great, Brian. Yesterday I wasn't feeling so hot, but today I'm doing pretty well. Ramming up would be good. Ramming up would be kind of unnecessary, honestly. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't draw it. Just don't. Oh, okay. I guess that we can't Vesuva, huh? Yep. Feels bad. Wait. Oh, because they already played land this turn. But that means that they can't cast Saheeli anymore. Red and 6 for 2 electric Boogaloo. Boogaloo. It's a funny word to say. Boogaloo. You don't have mana, opponent, just don't. Oh, they do. I've forgotten that this guy taps for mana. Shit. They found it with the last one. Oh man. Ah, the last draw step. All right. GG's. They even made a couple of mistakes, right? Like if they were going to go for lethal, they should have actually cast the Ren with the Jegantha and stuff, because it would have given them more options in terms of cycling. So there were a couple of sequencing mistakes there from opponent, but still got there. Man, if at any point we had found like a Dryad, or I guess we needed to find exactly Dryad. But I think I played the best. I don't think the Blast Zone would have been able to get there. I just don't think it would have been fast enough. Life's kind of easy when literally all your cards draw cards. That's true. That is true. Cassandra Mammoth. Ooh, Brian. Oh, Brian. That's right. You were not here in the beginning, huh? Oh yeah. The Mammoth has been so far has been pretty good. Maybe we should have searched it up earlier. The problem is, if I had searched it up earlier, then I wouldn't have been able to set up lethal, right? So you have to kind of choose your poison. Meddling Mages for Whirza spell and stuff, I'm guessing. Yeah, against combo. It hasn't been good. Mammoth. I feel betrayed. I'm still keeping this hand, however. Now, do we play this or no? We just play this on turn 1. How many Magic players does it take to screen a light bulb? 1 to screw it in and 3 to tell them how they could have done it slightly better. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's good humor right there. That's what that is. No, you're good, man. You're good. You did the thing. You did the thing. Tiny Helix? Oh, Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, that's good for us. Hype. All right. If we Dryad, we don't get to call. It's still worth to Dryad here. Still worth Dryading. Like if we just draw any land that's untapped, we just win on the spot. If this doesn't die, so. Thought of that, Joe, when you were critiquing opponent's tapping even though we died. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that deck is absolutely gross, Matt. How many leagues have you played with it? Have you been liking it? Because it looks ridiculous. Yavka with the Prime sub. Welcome back for the 2nd month in a row. Thank you so much, Yavka. Welcome to the Primetime Stronghold. Once again. Alright, OP, what you got over there? What you got for me? 501s and 4-1 just now. It's stupid. Yeah, it does look pretty stupid. It does look pretty freaking stupid. That's fine. Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. This is what's up. Field Valakut. We could have gotten Field Flagstones, but this ended up being a primetime game instead of a Reclaimer game, which is fine. We win those too. Nah, I think that this is just better. Like, what's my opponent gonna do with this? They can path it with this Sunforger. Path this, then we play this and we just win, so... And they kind of force into doing that, right? Because otherwise they just die. Do you miss paying pack triggers? I mean, I have to say that this card has been very impressive in this shell, obviously. I feel like Boros equipment would suffer pretty hard versus field. Yeah, unless they have any kind of like infinite combo or like an Igmoth Nexus kill or something like that. But this can't be... This can't be hammer time. It just cannot, right? This card just does not seem good. Fervent Champion. I guess that's the combo? That's cute. They have a combo that does like 30-ish with protection from one color. This is a combo deck. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I don't know which instant this can go get. What should I be... Is there anything that I should be afraid of? This can be activated at instant speed. That's important to note. Metamorphose time 3 into Fist of Flames. I don't even know what that does. Fist of Flames. Oh! Yeah, probably. I can probably beat that, I think. Unless they have something that gives this guy double strike or something. It's just not enough, right? Feast of Flames gives trample. So what Feast of Flame does, actually very good in the blue-red spells Modern Horizons archetype. You draw a card until end of turn, target creature gains trample. I gets +1/+0 for each card you've drawn this turn. Looks like another meme modern deck. Sweet. Okay, so here's the list. Oh, of course it's a Saffron Olive deck. Of course it's a Saffron Olive special. Makes sense. Giver, Magmatic Channeler. Oh, it's Naya? They have Skusi? Seems kind of bad. Magus, Phoenix of Ass. Good. Apparition, Path, Eldambri Skull. Wow, so they can Sunforger. Nice. They can Sunforger for call. It's pretty sick. Chance for Glory. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Are we F6th here? We probably should be F6th. The thing is that they have to go for the combo on their main phase, right? Because the attach the equipment thing doesn't work at instant speed. Okay, so this is just we win. So Fervent Champion is the only way, right? They still can't attack, which is hilarious because they gave us a Sambo. That's good. This is one land drop. Yeah, we just go get Celestia Sanctuary and we win. Lapse or of Certainty. Counter target spell. If that spell is counted this way, put it on top of his summoner's lever instead of that player's graveyard. I was not aware that white actually had multiple forms of counter magic. So it's Memory Lapse, but it's 3 mana instead of 2. I oftentimes wondered if Memory Lapse would actually be fine in Modern. It probably would be. Maybe Mind Sensor? Let's check out the list again. Skull, Castle's Fury. This is pretty hype. Chance for Glory is pretty sweet. Okay, so they have multiple ways of winning. We have to watch out for Magus. And we probably want 9 lives. Yeah. Tap 4 and tap creatures you control is to target artifact or enchantment. Oh, Emrakul is the anti-meal tech. That's cute. Alright, what are we doing here? We like this. We definitely want some purges, maybe 2 or 3. We like Knight of Autumn. Gracer seems meh. They don't have Helix, so at least that list did not mean my opponent's list does have Helix. Eidolon is probably good. Oh, you're right. Eidolon actually stops their combo straight up. Good call. Shave a Titan? No Archon of Emeria anymore. I just copied this list from the top 4 of the Modern Challenge. This is not my list. I would change multiple things, honestly. If the list were mine. What are we at here? They started with 7. This is probably mole. This is better. Keep this bottom cavern. We have to watch out for Magus for sure, so I'm gonna lead on Windswept Heath. Probably get a basic forest. There's a giver. It's pretty good. Wow. Really? So we can call for Reclaimer here, or we can call for Eidolon so we can't lose. Because my opponent seems to have access. They seem to have some number of removal spells over there. I think I'm gonna go for Reclaimer though. That way we get to double spell here. Yeah. So let's do this. Boom, boom, boom. Try it. I don't want them to be playing around Blast Zone, because Blast Zone actually blows up their entire board. So maybe they will use a removal spell to kill Reclaimer here, which would be actually great for me. Yeah, that's excellent. So next turn I can either, if they tap out, I can just Titan them and just Valakut their board, or I can simply just play Blast Zone and go for that instead. They might Magus me here though, I guess. Magus would be okay. Magus would be okay here. We can still cast Titan, but it would make things a lot more awkward. And we would need to be sacking a land to these flagstones without being able to get a replacement land. There's a Magus. Sure. That means I don't need to sack the Flagstones, which is nice. So definitely getting a basic Plains. In case my Dryad gets answered, and in case I top deck an Apparition. I guess, yeah, this doesn't make sense because they have Giver. So what am I even doing here? Sup, Big Monkey, how's it going? Apparition answers the Dryad. We got multiple cards that win the game on the spot. Our own Apparition. Yeah, we definitely attack here. So, Valakut and another field? Sure. They can trade, but if they attempt to trade, like, it's just not a good trade for them, basically, because we get to trade with, like, they get to protect the Magus, but we get to kill the Giver and the Apparition. Eidolon's not bad there. At least we cannot get comboed out. Intrepid Hero. That's a card I have not seen in a long time. Wow. Crazy. Well, even more of a reason to be attacking now. Valakut and Fetchland? Of course, I'm not playing these cards for... after we deal with the Magus, we get to trigger field and stuff. Titan down! Titan down! Intrepid Hero, holy crap. Like, this actually used to be a legit cyber card in, I think, Humans? Oh, I should have blocked. That was silly. Nah, I guess it's fine, because they did show me Helix, so... something good. In what year? It used to be in the sideboard of Humans when it just came out, and it also used to be the sideboard of some Collected Company decks. Like Naya Coco decks. Precisely against Amulet and Titan decks. Not saying it was a good answer, but... No, this is actually modern. Not that long ago. Shadow was fully around that time too. It's possible, yep. Okay, I'm ready to get got by a Helix here, but it just cuts down their clock in half. So it seems worth doing. Probably should have done the same thing last turn, yeah. Alright. Alright. You mean when Humans became a deck in Modern with Hero World Sprint? Yeah, of course, of course. That's what I meant. I mean, they were attacking with Greedy, with Giver in the early game, so maybe they'll get Greedy again, I don't know. That's probably our only shot at winning this game. Opponent somehow gets Greedy and they tap their Giver for no reason. path my idol on? Card was dope against Bant. Rasi killed everything. Yeah, exactly. Please tap everything. Oh man. Opponent playing Titan shit. Yeah, we just pass. So we need to find like a path. Steve. Is it technically Vice has a turn? Imagine playing cast with 3+ power. I know, crazy, right? So that is lethal now. Okay. We're not getting there. Okay, so I guess we do want more purges. How did we just lose? Because my opponent had a Magus of the Moon. We're playing a Primeval Titan deck. Magus of the Moon with protection is really hard for us to beat. When you get the contract to play the deck, it says so. Blaming, I guess I just side that guy out. Nah, I like it. Let's do that. Even stop Sunforger. It seems like a little bit too narrow for my taste. Okay, yes, it does, but it's also a 2/1 for. It's just bad, right? Keep this. Start play stepped. It stops their call too. Again, I'm not too concerned about those cards. There comes a point where you just have too many sideboard cards and you're starting to get diminishing returns. Best leaf color IRL? Good question. Probably I am partial to green or black sleeves. Those are my two favorite colors. Yeah, I do enjoy green sleeves a lot. Looks like we might be losing to the same combo. Easy. So they're gonna call for Magus here. Been liking the mint color? Yeah, it's cool. We're like KMC matte green. There's very many options that are quite good. Gotta get Magus here. It's not the end of the world. We do have some basics and now we can brute force. Let's see if my opponent wants to make a mistake over there. They don't. Hello. So we're gonna get Plains and Forest. Fix our mana. So we just need to find a removal spell here. I guess complicates things a tiny bit. Thank you for the follow there. BR Pestana. This is a free attack, so we're starting here. Okay, I cast a Titan because of Dryad. Magus affects all the non-basics, but the basics are not affected by Magus, so the Dryad, even though the Magus came after the Dryad's clause is not affected because these are basics. Yeah, it's actually a pretty interesting it's actually a pretty interesting thing. Can we call for app force the protection then purge? So what happens is we find apparition, we target the giver, opponent redirects to Spellskite, then gives Spellskite pro that, right? I guess we can try to do that next turn. No, it actually doesn't work. It actually doesn't work. So I guess it's better for us to just get another Titan, huh? Oh, they can't redirect purge Spellskite, good point, because it's not a legal target. Okay, so we're gonna be doing that, but we don't have enough sources, so we have to do that. We have to call on my opponent's end step. We don't have tracker. No, but this needs to be the second thing, because they actually can redirect the apparition to Spellskite, right? So that doesn't work. We need to apparition first, target the giver. Yeah, so we have to cast the apparition first. We can't really choose the order in which we do this. How do they get rid Magus with Skite on board? Because they cannot redirect the purge. So we're gonna apparition the giver. Call for apparition. We're gonna apparition the giver. Opponent is going to redirect to Skite and then give pro white. Then we're going to, now this is tapped, so then we're going to purge the Magus, and then that's it. So we have to go for apparition here. You like tracker in Blood Moon matchups? Yeah, I'm just not considering this a Blood Moon matchup. I'm considering this closer to an aggro matchup, and we have a bunch of purges. Apparition. A card that has been very impressive, by the way. Valakut. One, two, three. Yep. If they just let me take the Skite, I mean, again, it's what we got, right? Yeah. Not much we can do about that, right? Not sure how that was better than just getting another Titan. Well, we don't die to a Path to Exile. That's the main reason. They always had the Fervent Champion. I don't think this is lethal, right? Now this guy is a 3/4. Another answer would be great. We didn't find another answer. But now we don't have attacks. That sucks. The good thing is that my opponent doesn't have attacks either. So now we start a little bit of a stalemate. Also, there are 10 minutes behind on clock. They get multiple free spells a turn. That's true. Of course. Of course. Can punch you with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much for coming back for 14 months. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, the second Dryad was what did me in, right? Because the second Dryad took precedence over the Magus that was already in play. Yeah. When I played the second Dryad, I was obviously not playing around Boil. I wasn't expecting Boil from them. Maybe I should have taken a closer look at the list. Whatever. Maybe they're gonna go for it now. We're hard luck now. Wow. It's insane. Like the amount of cyber cards that my opponent has. It's pretty insane. Like that's a lot of cyber cards for this matchup. They really don't want to lose to Titan. Though I guess that if you are tutoring for them, yeah, I mean you just have to never draw them, right? It's kind of like Kiki Chord in like the Kiki Jiki and Kiki chords, right? You just have to never draw it. Like that's the strategy. Just be a professional and never draw it. Patrician's Scorn. Honestly, this just feels like my opponent got by Boggles one too many times. I have exactly one basic forest, but I can go search for it if I find any other land. But I basically need to draw runner lands there, right? Because I needed to draw one land to one land so I could go get the forest and then just like use one more land so I could cast a Dryad. But this is just, I think this is game now. I think this is just game now. This is a sus attack, but like they're just gonna Helix my Reclaimer, I think. Like what am I supposed to do, right? Yeah, let's just concede. Let's move on to the next one. If the Dryad comes after Magus, your lands can generate any color. Yes, BR Pestana. Alright, so 3-0 start into losing badly to 4-color Saheeli and then getting cheesed out by Magus of the Moon plus Giver Protection. Still okay. Still okay. No, that's not the list actually though. The list is worse than this one. Where is it? Reclaimer Titan? There we go. Found it. I did not like the Meddling Mages, like whatsoever. They were just bad. They were really bad. That deck is a sign of a healthy meta. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it means that you can attack the meta game in a silly way, and if you're building your deck properly and you have a plan for the matchups, you can get away with it, right? That's great. I don't think that deck is good, and I don't think that deck is gonna be winning too much, but still. All right. So thoughts about the list. I don't like Meddling Mage, so I'm going to make some changes for the second list. I like the deck a lot, though. I do like the deck a lot. I think that you can go very many different ways in how you want to build it. I think I'm down to trying another list like this, so I'm probably gonna take a look at a recent list by X-Whale and see how I feel about that one, and that's the one that we're gonna be playing in the next league. But yeah, that's gonna be for this league. Hope you enjoyed the 3-2 value, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and take care. All right.